Okay, this is section 12.1, and this is the beginning of chapter 12, where we are going to focus on 3D objects. So everything is going to be in 3-dimension. We're talking like cylinders, cubes, pyramids, cones, that kind of stuff. And before we can start that, we really got to talk about some vocab. And the first word we need to talk about is polyhedron. And polyhedron is a solid, so a 3D object bounded, so made up of polygons. And a polygon is a shape with any number of sides. So it could be a pentagon, could be a hexagon, could be octagon, anything as long as it has sides on it. The vertex of a polyhedron is where 3 or more edges meet. So just to give you a quick example, down here at the bottom of your packet, you've got some pictures. This would be a vertex. 3 of the edges met right there. So kind of like corners almost, if you want to think of them like that. More vertexes, okay? The face of a polygon, or I'm sorry, the face of a polyhedron is the polygon. So if I were to make this, let's say, into a, let's try and draw this, into a prism, that was really bad, like that. All of these faces are polygons, and they make up the polyhedron. So the faces are the polygons. The edges is the line segment between two faces. I know these are so weird things. I know you know exactly what an edge is, but to define it is something different. So the line segment between two faces. So if this face and this shaded one meet, that's the edge right there. So when two faces meet, then they make an edge. When 3 of them meet, then they make a point. Okay? Convex and concave, we've done these words before. Convex is when the entire shape is pushed outward. And I'm just going to say push out. Concave has a cave in it. So there is a part that was pushed in, or there's a cave, or there's a dent. Any of those types of words to describe that. This would be concave because it has a dent. It has a part that was pushed in. This would be convex. Everything is pushed outward. There are no dents. Okay? So now let's get a few pictures to go with our vocab. So talking about polyhedra, an example of that would be what you guys drew when you were kids, these little rectangular prisms or cubes. That would be an example. A pyramid would be an example of one. So those are examples. Non-examples, things that are not polyhedras, are anything with a circular surface. So cylinders wouldn't count, spheres wouldn't count, and cones are the other round object. So not all of those are not polyhedrons. So what's the difference in the pictures you drew? These guys all have straight edges. These ones have curved edges. And how are we going to know if the shape is a polyhedron? Just make sure that it's made up of all polygons. No circular edges on them. And how are we going to name prisms and pyramids? They are named by the shape of their base. So this particular pyramid would be a rectangular pyramid. That's how it's called. So like rectangular. If it was a pentagon on the bottom, it would be a pentagonal. So whatever shape is the base, that's what you're going to say first, and then you'll say the word. So we could have and here's a good picture of a 6-sided, so that's a hexagon, and this is a prism because it goes just straight up and down. Pyramids come to a point, and prisms are the same shape all the way down to the bottom. So we're going to decide if each one is a polyhedron, and then if it is, we're going to give it a name. So this first one, all straight edges, no curved sides, that is a polyhedron. I'm looking at its base, which is triangular shape, so this is a triangular pyramid. And I know it's a pyramid because they came to one point. Okay? Next one, rounded edge, not a polyhedron. Next one, all straight edges, nothing is rounded. This is a polyhedron. Its base is a hexagon, so this is a hexagonal. Hexagonal. Wow, I really don't think I spelled that right. Hexagonal. I think that's an A and then an O. Prism. Did not come to a point. They're straight up and down. Next guy, all straight edges. No rounded curves, so this is a polyhedron. The trick here is to pick the right base, and the base is the one where the two sides are the same. So the base was a hexagon here, two sides, pentagon here, front and back. So this is a pentagonal. And this is a prism. It did not come to a point. It's the same all the way through. Which of these are convex and concave? This guy's definitely concave. It has a dent. This is convex. Everything is pushed outward. Convex, no dents into the shape. And this one is concave, 2 dents pushed into the shape. A little bit more on the next page, talking about cross sections. Kind of like, and what I wrote there was kind of like slicing a loaf of bread. So if I had a loaf of bread, even though it's a cylinder, and I took a slice of it and I cut it like that, what kind of shape would you get? And so what the book usually uses is a plane, and as though that kind of is coming through the cylinder, it's going to cut it off. So we've got a pyramid here where we could cut, and you can kind of see this plane cutting into the pyramid and how the cross section would be a triangle. And there's all different kinds of cross sections depending on how you slice the object. So you can slice diagonally, or you can slice up and down, or horizontally. There's all different kinds of slices. So this would be a triangle. This one would be a rectangle, even though this is a cylinder, which kind of messes with your head because those are round edges. But if you slice through the middle, what you're going to see is a rectangle. And this one with a cone, if I slice it horizontally, I'm going to get a circle. If I were to slice the cone the other way, like from top to bottom, I would get a triangle because I would just be cutting right through the cone. And then the rest of your assignment is going to be talking about what kind of cross-section is formed. So just kind of naming it like we did up above. And the book will give you a slice, so they'll show you the plane cutting it so that you can have a feel for it. And this one's going to be a triangle. It's kind of cutting off the corner of that cube. This one, the slice is going right through the middle, and so I see a hexagon. And the last one, they sliced it from front to back, and that shape right there is a rectangle. So today is just about vocab, polyhedron, deciding what is and what isn't. This is a polyhedron, this is not, because this one has round edges. Talking about edges, vertices, or I should say vertexes, and then cross sections of those shapes.